Good afternoon. Today, my colleagues and I will be discussing problem solving in a physical education setting.
So what is problem solving? Problem solving is defined as the proper way to find an appropriate way of attaining a goal. There are 4 steps in problem solving. 1. Find and frame problems. Before you can solve a problem, you must first recognize that it exists. 2. Develop good problem solving strategies. Once students find a problem and clearly define it, they need to develop strategies for solving it. Some effective problem solving strategies could consist of sub-goals and using algorithms, heuristics, and means and analysis. 3. Evaluate solutions. Once you think you have solved a problem, you may not know whether your solution is effective unless you evaluate it. As you evaluate yourself, ask if you have reached and achieved your solution. 4. Rethink and define problems and solutions over time. An important final step in problem solving that causes you to continually rethink and redefine problems and solutions over time.
Teachers often use problem solving while demonstrating classroom management. Students who act as distractions or cause problems allow for the teacher to come up with a solution to the problems that are enacted by the students. This makes for a controlled classroom environment. In physical education, it can be difficult to control the students in a dynamic environment. Lack of control can lead to chaos in the classroom. Using different problem-solving techniques, many teachers can incorporate problem-solving techniques into their instruction so that there is clarification on directions and expectations. Giving students problem-solving tasks that can be incorporated into lesson plans and activities is one way to introduce the outside-the-box methods to students.
Problems that can occur in a physical education setting include the lack of participation. Some students can be seen standing around during gameplay because he or she may not like the activity. This could also affect the student's viewpoint of dressing for PE. If teachers are laid back, students are more prone to disregard rules and regulations, which could result in bullying or fighting over provided equipment.
As physical education teachers, our classroom needs are often overlooked due to the thought that it is glorified recess, an attitude that some teachers have. Physical education classrooms can experience a multitude of problems. Lack of equipment can lead to more team and partner-oriented activities. This goes hand in hand with large class sizes. The larger the class size, the more equipment that will be needed. This can also be compounded by the school districts that face low budgets. Low budgets and the lack of equipment can lead to teachers having low morale in the physical education department, thus making kids become uninvolved or uninterested in the physical education curriculum. This can also lead to other problems like cell phone usage during class.
Some benefits of problem solving in a physical education setting include preparing students for success, preparing students for the real world, builds relationships with peers, enhances content knowledge, and deepens conceptual understanding.
Some consequences of no problem solving in the classroom include a negative learning environment, lack of student confidence, lack of preparation from the instructor, and lack of ability to be able to work under a stressful environment as a student.
Some tips for teachers to educate students about problem solving could include activities or games that incorporates social interactions with fellow classmates. Teachers should then create challenging tasks for students to force them to think outside of the box. When the gameplay is over, be sure to ask students individually questions so they can defend their ideas while also coming up with solutions. After that, bring the class in as a whole and discuss all possible answers. However, as a teacher, you always need to remember to not give your students the answer, but instead allow them to search for the answer, as it will expand their thought process. In addition, teachers need to be aware of their surroundings and anticipate questions or answers from a student. Being able to think on your feet is one of the most important qualities to have as a teacher. When lesson planning for upcoming classes, be sure to use a sense of imagination, for it will provide a successful learning environment for all students. If you are well prepared, the gameplay will run smoothly and will eliminate the possibility of confusion. Team building activities are a prime example of promoting teamwork while also infusing social interaction.
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
Gene, you gotta talk about power here. Whoa, guys! Power is everything. Power is everything.
What do you mean?
Without it, they don't talk to us, they don't correct their trajectory, they don't turn the heat shield around. We gotta turn everything off. Now. They're not gonna make it to re-entry.
What do you mean, everything?
With everything on, the LEM draws 60 amps. At that rate, in 16 hours, the batteries are dead, not 45. And so's the crew. We gotta get them down to 12 amps. 12 amps? How many? You can't run a vacuum cleaner on 12 amps, John. We gotta turn off. We have to turn off the radars, cabin heater, instrument displays, the guidance computer, the whole smack.
Whoa, guidance computer. What if they need to do another burn? Gene, they won't even know which way they're pointed.
The more time we talk down here, the more juice they waste up there. I've been looking at the data for the past hour.
That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Okay, John. The minute we finish the burn, we'll power down the LEM.
All right.
Now, in the meantime, we're gonna have a frozen command module up there. In a couple days, we're gonna have to power it up using nothing but the re-entry batteries.
Yeah, we've been tried before.
Hell, we've never even simulated it before, Gene.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. I want people in our simulators, working re-entry scenarios. I want you guys to find every engineer who designed every switch, every circuit, every transistor, and every light bulb that's up there. Then I want you to talk to the guy in the assembly line who actually built the thing. Find out how to squeeze every amp out of both of these goddamn machines. I want this marked all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not gonna lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
This video gives us a perfect example of problem solving. In this video, the NASA flight director and his crew are confronted with the problem of mathematically calculating how they can re-enter the crew into the atmosphere before they run out of oxygen. So problems that arise are the amount of oxygen the crew has, the amount of power the crew is available, their trajectory, and time left. The solution to the problem is brought by John. John recommends that they save the crew's power by turning everything unnecessary off. John recommends they turn off the radars, the cabin heaters, and the instrument displays. This would allow the service module to save enough power to generate one last boost and save oxygen until they re-enter the atmosphere.
Here are our online and book sources. And lastly, here are our picture sources. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and can take something away from this.